at the start of the qualifying stage to the entire 2-week rally. Behind me, you see the Rebellion racing cars, but those of you with sharp eyes will notice they don't quite look alike. There has been an amazing amount of drama already for Rebellion Racing here at the Dakar Rally 2022. In testing, Alex Pesci and co-driver are going across the dunes and they smell a little something, a fire. They hit the extinguisher, they kill the ignition, they hop out, they're miles from any help, and the car burns to the ground. The drivers are fine, but the car, fully involved, it is over. So the team was down to one car, but Romain Dumas immediately offered his ride to Alex Pesci, team owner. But Alex got on the phone and I saw them trolling the paddock, looking for another car to rent for Romain. He ended up getting contacted by his good friend Nasser Al-Attiyah, who actually coached him when he first started 2 years ago. And Nasser, amazingly, offered his race car. It was a Toyota all-wheel drive class car that is going into a museum, but it's ready to go. It won the last rally it was in. Nasser is a 3-time Dakar winner. He finished second last year. He's a world cross-country champion. Nasser's from Qatar, and he is the real deal. And he and Alex are good friends. And Romain now has a car to drive. He's already hopped in and headed for the start line of this qualifying session. It will be the first time Romain has ever driven that car in the dirt. Day one qualifier is just a short stage. I think it's 18 kilometers, nothing in Dakar to determine starting position. First time out in the desert, here we go. Just rode into Heil, and we've done over 500 miles transit from the low coastal, hot, sunny weather to a very light rain shower, and it's in the mid-50s right now. I've had to load up on my Rebellion gear. Both cars are here. That's great. We have no idea what happened though. We're gonna go in and talk to Alex and Romain and find out what happened in that qualifying stage after 500 miles of Saudi Arabian desert. Pretty darn straight and awfully dry with some beautiful mountain sceneries. I call them the Saudi Arabian Alps when we went through.
So my name is Alex Pesci. I'm the owner of Rebellion Racing, and we are here in Saudi Arabia to run my third Dakar in 2022 with my Rebellion DXX buggy. My first race was Dakar 20, so this is my third race ever, and I never did any other race except Dakar. But I have some kind of interest in motorsport because I used to own a racing team and we did 13 times Le Mans and the World Endurance Championship. And the last race was in 2020 with the 24 Hour of Le Mans, where we finished second overall. Today it was the product day, so it's basically just one small special, only about 20 kilometers, and then a very long liaison to come from Jeddah to Heil here in the northern part of Saudi Arabia. The The prologue was quite difficult, much more difficult than last year. It was very sandy with a lot of dunes, big dunes in descent, like 200 meters, 45 degrees. It was really impressive. But it was a good preparation for tomorrow. The car ran faultlessly. It was really good to drive. And after what happened 2 days ago, I'm very happy that the car was very good today. It's the best thing, I think, it's that I found my mark again. So I know I didn't lose anything. Because after I had some times of doubt after what happened 2 days ago when the car caught fire. So I was a little bit shocked, let's say, and now I know that all the driving is coming back again, so it's no problem.
Ah, good, good. What's the worst thing that happened today?
Oh, the liaison.
Oh,
600 kilometers on 125 max on the freeway, like this for I don't know how many hours. It was tremendous. Yeah, that's stupid. It's not crazy. I mean, it's something that should not happen. I think here we have desert everywhere, so the liaison should be a lot smaller. In fact, tomorrow I think the liaison it's only 130 kilometers, with the liaison before the special from the bivouac, and the liaison from the final, the end of the stage to the bivouac. So it's normal, but to have 600 kilometers liaison, it's just to move everybody up there. That's it. Well, the suspension is quite soft. Basically, it's too soft for the road, so it moves a little bit in every direction. But it's very noisy, so it's not comfortable at all. The bucket seats are very stiff. Everything makes a lot of noise, so it's not. But we managed to put some music in the car. So yes, my co-driver managed to via Bluetooth to access the internet communication system, so we could listen some ABBA or some U2 stuff like that. I think the product was already a lot more difficult than last year, so I think they stepped up a little bit the difficulty of the Dakar. So, but we will discuss that tomorrow evening if I come back. But I think it will be a little bit more difficult.
one of the cars burned.
Yes.
And we can't run it. How did you come up with another car for Romain?
That's a good question. Basically, it's a miracle. I think it's a miracle because this normally never happens. But we managed to have a very good friend that loves Rebellion, and his name is Nasser Atia. He's a gentleman, but not a gentleman driver. He's first a driver and then a gentleman. And he proposed us to get his car. So he sent his car during the night, last night, from Riyadh to Jeddah, because he was about to send it to his private museum in Europe. But he said, okay, you can have my car, no problem. I'm your friend. You will do the same for me one day probably, so I will send you the car. And then we got the car, I think at 6 in the morning, the day before. And we changed the color, we prepared the car. Romain never drove a 4x4 car before that. So it was, he needs to learn quite fast. Unfortunately, today he got lost. I mean, he didn't get lost, but he lost a waypoint. Yeah. So he had to go back and find his way. But I mean, it's a part of the learning curve, basically.
So I'm Romain Dumas. I'm from France. Why I'm racing here? That's a great question. Actually, it's I was always passionate when I was a kid for Dakar. Dakar is big in France. It's a big race, and so one day I had the chance to participate, and now it's 5th time. So I always have pleasure. You know, it's a challenge. For sure, it's not what I am used to, but I like to do it. But last minute I found this car, this Toyota from Nasser Al-Attiyah. Was very nice. It's a car he used on the past. It was actually on his museum, and he said, "Oh, you can take my car." So that was yesterday morning. So
yesterday morning.
Yes. So it was a lot of work to put decals on it, and now we start just to learn the car. Also, me by driving, I will need for sure some days, but we have to go step by step.
this was your first time, like when you left the line, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was the first
What was
time in
that
the car, and yeah, it looked like very interesting to drive. Fortunately, we get lost, so we have to make a U-turn and come back. So we lost a lot of time. I mean, and yeah, the position is not incredible, but it's a part of the game. It's the first day. My co-pilot Remy, it's on his first time, so we need also to learn. Actually, during the stage, you have to find some waypoint. And this, when you found one, you go to the next one. And unfortunately, we missed one. And we realized that we missed it when we were at the next one. So we have to go back. So we lost yeah, a little bit of time. Yeah.
And what's the best thing that happened?
The best thing of today?
Yeah.
Oh, that we are here. That, you know, after all what happened the last 2 days. So it's why we have to be happy to be here, and we see tomorrow. You see, you know, this kind of racing is so difficult compared to what we are used, because for sure the co-pilot is as important as the driver. That is crazy, you know. In motorsport, normally, even on rally, when you are on tarmac and so on, normal rally, the co-pilot is important because you can crash, but a good driver will always be on the front. On a rally raid, off-road racing like that, the co-pilot is so important, because if you are getting lost, you know, you never catch back the time.
Today, very short stage, 19 kilometers. That's kind of like one lap of the Nürburgring or Pikes Peak. So it's just the beginning, just a taste of what's to come for team owner Alex Pesci and driver, and for pro Romain Dumas, challenged with driving a brand new car to him that just showed up. The first time he drove it was when he left the line. So many, many miles of Dakar left. First day in the bag with 2 cars here in Hail. Much more adventure and challenge to come. See you tomorrow.